Today on Rock the Park.
So it's taking it to a new level.
We're back in Glacier National Park in Montana.
It's impossible for it not to make you smile.
Finding a little heaven on Earth.
You can see just for miles and miles and miles.
On a hike that delivers more than just epic views.
It just blows you away.
It lays out the entire history of this incredible park.
I feel like if you come to Glacier National Park, you better see at least one glacier. Well, right now we're about to see two.
We're hiking the Highline Trail.
Wow.
And it all starts right now.
I'm Jack Steward.
This is the real deal.
And I'm Colton Smith.
These are mountains!
We've been buddies for years, always in search of the next adventure.
Dude, what was that?
We share a passion for our national parks and other wild places around the world.
Oh my God.
Man, heading off the beaten path, pushing our limits, and experiencing nature's best-kept secrets.
Here we go!
It's how we rock the park. We're back at one of our favorite places on Earth, Glacier National Park.
To be back and taking in a view like this is as good as it gets.
As the name suggests, this awe-inspiring park was created long ago by glaciers that carved the jagged granite peaks and scooped out the massive valleys.
Glacier National Park is located in northwestern Montana on the border of Canada. It's early morning on one of the more iconic drives in the entire park system, the Going to the Sun Road, which bisects Glacier from east to west. Its highest point is at Logan Pass, where we're starting our adventure.
Now, what's kind of crazy is we've been to Glacier probably like 100 times, but we haven't done one of the most popular trails here, the Highline.
Carved into the Rocky Mountains, the Highline Trail delivers everything the park is best known for. Breathtaking vistas and plenty of wildlife. And you can literally see the story of this spectacular park unfold before your eyes.
It's one of the most amazing trails in the entire national park system, let alone Glacier.
It's a strenuous hike, so it isn't recommended for small children.
This is an extremely popular trail, but don't let that fool you. It is the real deal. We're talking about 11 miles through bear country, very exposed with sunlight, so you got to prepare for this.
Yeah, there's gonna be no shade whatsoever. You are out in the elements for basically the entire duration of this hike, and that can make it easy to take certain things for granted, one of the biggest being water.
Water is extremely important. There have been over 100 cases of dehydration on this trail just this year. So it's something that you really got to stay on top of.
Whatever you think you might need, pack a little more.
The general rule of thumb, adults need about 2 cups of water for every hour of hiking, and children anywhere from 1 to 2 cups. The Highline Trail takes about 6 hours, so figure you'll need almost 3 liters per person. And if it's a hot day, you'll need even more. A hat and sunscreen are a must as well.
And then anytime I'm in Glacier, I always have my bear spray. This trail is known to have a lot of bear activity, and actually recently there have been some closures because some of the bears are getting a little too used to humans. So I don't go anywhere without this in this park.
And sure enough, as we hit the trail shortly after sunrise, we get another reminder. Around 300 grizzlies live in Glacier, and along with black bears, they like this trail as much as people do. So it's always a good idea to make noise to let the bears know you're coming. They'll usually go out of their way to avoid you.
We're starting out just past sunrise to avoid the heat and crowds, so we'll be in and out of the shadows for a bit.
Going to the Sun Road is arguably the most beautiful road in this country. We actually have a little bit of a better vantage than even people driving their cars down there do.
Hiking on this 6-foot wide ledge might seem like a deal breaker if you're afraid of heights. Thankfully, there is a hand cable much of the way, and the stretch is less than half a mile long.
It's incredible to see all of these different features and to be able to hike through them. And that's why the Highline Trail is so special, is you get to do that. Where other places, you might have to work to get up to this point. You can drive to Logan Pass, hop on this trail, and you're taking in world-class scenery. that's just not found anywhere else on Earth.
Small streams and snowmelt cascade down what's called the garden wall, supporting all sorts of vegetation amidst the cliffs.
Wow. Love it. Just passed a hiker who told us that there is a grizzly bear up the trail. The good news is tons of people are on this already, so we'll probably see the people before the bear.
It's always amazing when you see a bear in the wild, and here in Glacier, we have had some of our most memorable grizzly encounters. We want to make sure that we're at least 100 yards away from it and hope that it's actually not on the trail, because that could be an issue.
Time to de-layer. It's warming up.
It's always smart to dress in layers. It was very, very chilly this morning. Now we're starting to burn some energy, get a nice little sweat going. It's not bad to be a little cold, because you know that you got some work coming that's gonna warm you right up.
Another nice thing about getting an early start, the wildlife are up and at it as well.
What'd you spot?
Little bighorn sheep.
Oh, nice.
We're in Glacier National Park hiking the Highline Trail, and we're only a few miles into our trek when our early start pays off.
What'd you spot?
Little bighorn sheep.
Oh, nice. That's a huge ram. You can tell the age by their horns. The bigger the horns, the longer they've been out here, and generally the more dominant they are.
When they do smash together, sometimes you can hear it from over a mile away. That is some force.
It's incredible, and they'll keep at it for almost 24 hours at times. 24 hours of just pure battling.
That's insane. Why won't they just let it go?
The bighorn sheep holds a grudge.
So we got some goats up there too. They're hanging out on the rocks just above and to the left of the sheep. Other than the grizzly bear, the mountain goats are the symbol of this park. You see them up on these cliffs everywhere with their fancy footwork up on those cliff ledges. Unbelievable. I just can't get over how gorgeous it is here. This is stunning. Wow, wow, wow.
We're in the sun now, and it's a lot warmer. Glacier straddles the continental divide, so the Pacific and Arctic air meet here. That means weather and temperatures can change quickly and dramatically.
It's crazy, you know, when you start a hike like this and it's like in the 30s, it's easy to think, oh, it's never gonna be warm. And that's why a lot of people don't bring enough water.
So far, the elevation has been tame, allowing us to make good progress.
Areas like this are tempting to get off trail, but it's really important that you don't do that, especially on a trail like the Highline.
These high alpine areas here are generally covered in snow almost year-round. The snow melts for a couple months out of the year, and the vegetation needs those months to grow. So if you're stepping on it, you're not allowing that to happen, and you're really messing up the cycle.
Glacier gets more than 3 million visitors a year, so for the park's sake, it's vitally important to practice leave no trace. These principles are designed to minimize your impact on the wilderness, and they extend far beyond where you step.
That right there is why you always pack out what you bring in. Because for a squirrel or even a bear, that's unnatural food, and the moment that they get a taste of that, they start to want more of it.
It's always bad news when any wildlife begins to associate people with food because they can get aggressive. Never leave anything behind.
We are certainly seeing why they call this the Highline Trail. We're just hovering above everything right now.
You can see just for miles and miles and miles. I mean, right over there is Heaven's Peak, which is just one of the most gorgeous mountains that they have here. You know, you hear the Highline Trail and you think, okay, we're gonna be up in the mountains, but I guess I didn't really think we'd be dealing with drop-offs like this that just go straight down to the valley floor. It's incredible.
Glacier has always been a refueling station for me, a place that I can come, put things into perspective, and know that I'm gonna be able to move forward.
We have almost 7 miles behind us, but the next one is gonna be a lot tougher.
So we are approaching a steep climb. I mean, we're talking 900 feet in less than 9/10 of a mile. This is gonna be our steepest climb of the hike.
We're hiking the Highline Trail in Glacier National Park, a jaw-dropping experience from the start. It's been a showcase of mountaintops, valley floors, and plenty of wildlife. Keep your eyes peeled, because they don't always announce themselves.
He's right here.
You can just see his horns right through the tree if you
Oh yeah, here. Let's move down the trail a bit just to get far enough away from him. Animals like bighorn sheep, you want to stay at least.
There he is.
Yeah, we want to give him a little bit of room. He's right there. You got to stay at least 25 yards away from animals like bighorn sheep. It's tempting when they're just right off the trail to sit there and look at them, but it's for your safety and for theirs. There'll be more animals.
You see the horns on that thing? It's easy to look at an animal like a mountain goat or a bighorn sheep, just kind of standing there. These animals can change their demeanor very, very quickly.
Let him get back to his lunch?
Yeah.
It's been a relatively easy hike up until now, but as we approach the spur trail, the real work begins.
This is gonna be our steepest climb of the hike. And we're talking 900 feet in less than 9/10 of a mile up to the top of the Continental Divide.
That basically means we're hiking up an extra foot of elevation every 2.5 steps forward. That's like climbing 90 flights of stairs. But those stairs bring us closer to the park's namesake.
You can spot two glaciers up there, the Salamander Glacier and Granite. Now, we've actually hiked to Granite in the past, so I'm pretty pumped to see it from a different vantage point.
When we reach the top, we'll be at nearly 7,500 feet in elevation.
Man, I mean, I'm used to hiking some steep trails, but this one's taking it to a new level. It's basically a really, really, really crazy ramp all the way up to the top here. The views are stunning. I mean, look at this pyramid over there. That thing is just wild. This park surprises me every time I come.
You can start to feel the wind picking up as we get closer and closer to this saddle.
It's crazy that that's even a mountain. Just a big chunk of rock.
Wow, oh man.
Oh,
Look at that.
wow.
Oh man.
Okay.
This is Granite Glacier. It was named after conservationist George Bird Granite, who advocated for the creation of Glacier National Park.
Granite is one of the most photographed glaciers in the park. And from this angle, you can see Salamander Glacier perched above it. Granite Glacier used to encompass Salamander, but you can definitely see how both have shrunk over the years.
It's wild
Yeah.
what those glaciers have the power to do. To just carve out these valleys and these peaks and just create such a dynamic and rugged landscape.
Glaciers form when more snow falls each winter than melts in the summer. Alternating freezing and thawing creates massive sheets of ice that move slowly down the mountain because of gravity. If the moving mass of ice has a surface of at least 25 acres, it's called a glacier. There are 26 named glaciers in the park, down from 150 in the mid-1800s. Many are difficult to access, so that makes the Highline Trail even more popular.
Look at that water down there. It boggles my mind. You know, we see a lot of different bodies of water fed by glaciers. That is as turquoise as it gets.
It just blows you away.
That brilliant color is caused by sediment that's created when the glaciers move across rock. The glacier grinds up the rock into a fine powder that floats in the water, and when the sunlight reflects off of it, the water takes on that spectacular turquoise color.
One of the things that's tough to see is looking down at some of these glaciers and seeing how small they really are. You know, we've been all over the country and the world and seen glaciers that just stretch for miles and miles and miles. And we're here in Glacier National Park, and we're losing them.
For us, this is an all too familiar refrain. The first time we hiked to Grinnell Glacier 5 years ago, we couldn't believe how much of it had melted.
Whoa, I was not expecting this.
This is really cool, but I thought this was gonna be completely full of ice down here. I wasn't expecting the lake.
That's all ice melt.
That's insane. You can really kind of see where it's receded. Like that went all the way across over to there.
Since the 1960s, Grinnell Glacier has lost 100 acres. It is now just a fragment of what it used to be, and it's what we're seeing all across the world. Most scientists believe that by 2030, the majority of glaciers in Glacier National Park will not be here anymore. It's all the more reason why you need to come here. Learn about what's happening to these glaciers, what's happening to our climate. We can see them right in front of us, and day by day, we're losing them.
We could stay here all day, but there's more to see.
Talk about a room with a view. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
There's no end to the magic of Glacier National Park, and the Highline Trail keeps giving us more highlights to check off our list.
All right, we just made it to the Granite Park Chalet, which honestly has been a bucket list for me.
The Chalet was built by the Great Northern Railway in the early 1900s to give comfortable lodging for hikers inside the park, and it's still open for overnight stays.
What's really fascinating about a chalet like this, over 100 years ago, they were already thinking, yeah, we want people to experience the backcountry, and why not give them a nice little place to stay and refuel?
And talk about a room with a view. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. So we're able to take this in, but also what this really means is we're starting to go down. We're working our way back to the loop where we're gonna end this trail.
The hike down is a great chance to spot more of the beauty of Glacier, from black bears to bear grass in bloom. But we're also reminded about part of nature that's not so nice.
Unfortunately, in the last 15 years, forest fires have really devastated a lot of parts of this park. And we're seeing one off to the right now as we're working our way down from the chalet.
2003 was especially a bad fire season for Glacier. 130,000 acres of glacier burned that year. Fires are natural, they definitely are, but when they start to burn longer, more ferociously, that's when you know something is off.
We're just a few miles from the end of the trail. This day hike on the Highline has given us a view of everything we could hope to see in Glacier National Park.
It's so crazy to me that we've been coming here for over a decade now, and this is the first time we've gone on the Highline Trail. If you're gonna be here for one day, this is the trail to do. You kind of get everything. See a glacier, you get awesome wildlife spotting opportunities, and just the best views you could possibly find in the park. It's the first park that really made me realize how special the national park system is.
No matter how many times we come here, it feels like it's the first. You never lose that first feeling that you had of just, wow.
It's just so dynamic. I am just blown away every time I come here because you discover something new and you take something away. And that's what I love about this place. I've been here at the highest of highs and even some lows, and every single time this place gives me something that I needed in that moment.
Without this park, my life would be incredibly different. And if it was there for us, it can be there for anybody. And that's why it's so important to care about this place and keep it the way that it is.
I don't know how you could come to Glacier and not want to protect it.
Yeah.
It's just too special.
I always feel like there's a piece of my heart that is in Glacier National Park, and every time I come back, I reconnect with that, and I leave just feeling so whole.
Well, man, one more awesome trip to Glacier and hopefully plenty more.
Oh, you know it.
You know we'll be planning another trip to Glacier before we empty our backpacks. It's a force of nature that continues to pull us back.
Hey, if we can do it.
So can you.
So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any questions or comments that you have.
And please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come.